Hello, I'm Josh Ainsworth and this is my video for advanced modelling in the games engine. I was inspired by this redesign of Aquaman, so I decided to use it as inspiration for my own model. I used the basic skeleton from Unreal to build my character around, making it easier to bring into the engine at a later date. I also built it in the same parts as using Unreal: the boots, the thighs, torso, arms and the head. Special care is taken with the topology, especially the chest, which has the reverse sort of flowing armour here, to ensure that when creating stuff like muscles, groups and the armour itself, it'll be much easier. This is then brought into ZBrush for high detail sculpt and texturing. The height of the sculpt was used to build up the muscle definition in the arms and the body. It's quite useful as well is the fact that the way it's designed hides a lot of the seams that comes from the modularity of the model, like the belt and knee pads hide the knees and waist, and the different textures between the arms and the torso armour hide the seams well. Looking at the head, the hair was made with like liberal use of the slash brush, which gives a very realistic texture. Detail was made using various brushes at high subdiv level. Because it is a comic book character, I went for a very bright and vibrant colour scheme, which would be sort of brought down to a slightly more realistic level with the ambient occlusion and normal maps, but still kept in a very comic book style aesthetic. The Unreal skeleton isn't actually at ideal human proportions, which is why my character's torso seems way too wide and the upper legs compared to the lower legs are way too short. That's purely to fit within the pre-designed Unreal skeleton. A diffuse map was created using projecting the ZBrush polypaint onto the reworked mesh, and then I used XNormal's ambient occlusion and layered that over the top multiple times to darken the image to a suitable level. The normals is also created in XNormal and cleaned up and sort of pushed out a little to accentuate a lot of the details because they're very subtle. In the specular, I found that the face was glowing a lot too much, so I darkened the face and brought out the golden armoured bits, which would be in real life a lot shinier. Alright, now getting it to working engine. So we've got our own faction setup. There it is working in an engine. Unfortunately, texturing being my weakest point, the texture starts to fall down when in an engine. The bloom is still too high, even with the specularity drop down. The arm should be toggleable, and there's errors going up, even though the skinning is actually triple checked it and the skinning still works. Don't know if we load up a quick game. Fortunately, there's another glaring error that the materials don't show up in game.
Play.
Everything else works. Bar that. So the first stages of the project went well. The base mesh, the topology of the base mesh particularly, I was particularly proud of. The high poly sculpt and the poly painting, but when it comes to texturing, I do believe that is my weakest area and what I'll need to work on heading towards the future, as I think that is the main thing that let this whole project down.